Hi, and welcome to my video about Tel Var Stones. This is just going to be a general video, basically how they work. If you're just starting out, you may not be familiar with it, but you may have heard it talked about. Um, so this video is mainly designed to discuss what they are, how they work, and for those of you who've done some crafting, you may have run into a particular rune if you're doing your enchanter daily. Um, Occasionally you'll get a sealed writ, which will require you to make a rune, which requires hakijo. I'm not sure how they're pronounced. Those are either dropped in the Imperial City or they're purchased in the Imperial City with Tel Var Stones. So what are Tel Var Stones? Well, they're a form of currency that you can only get by PvPing. So I'm not a big PvPer, and this is a PvE element of PvP that plays nice with my personality, allows me to farm Tel Var Stones, and allows me to get some of the stuff because, as I'm going to show you, there's a vendor, and you will have one in your area as well. What we're looking at here is the Imperial City layout. Now, this map does not look that big, but it is huge, absolutely huge. So, just to give you some scale, this is the Ebonheart Pact area. There's a banker down here, there are vendors, but as soon as you get out into this area, okay, this is open world PvP, and you can be jumped, but there are PvE elements throughout this dungeon, and that is what it is. It's a dungeon crawl, and I gotta say, having looked at a substantial amount of this, it's some of the best content I've seen. You should really check it out. Now, is it risky? Of course it is. You know, and that's part of the allure to it, I suppose. But in particular, this center area, if you can get here, I am going to try to get there at the end of this video, just to see what it looks like. I did get a glimpse of it, and it's absolutely awesome looking. But let me explain a little bit about how Tel Var Stones, they're a form of currency. And what you see here, this is how much you have on you. So Telvar Stones are used at the PvP vendors, at the Telvar General Merchant. There are others that I'm not going to bore you with on this video that sell some armor, things like that. But the key thing here is you can use Telvar Stones to purchase things that you otherwise would not be able to purchase in-game. One of which is this guy here, which is the Hakijo. And this interested me the other day. I generally not even thought about PvPing. Except to get the, which if you've watched any of my other videos, I'm a big fan of the speed boost, so I used it, I PvP'd a bit in the open world, Cyrodiil, to get that skill line, but the Telvar Stones I never even really looked into. But these guys here, as you notice on PC server, they sell for about 11,000 gold. So this, it gives you experience, plus it's new for me. I have not seen this part of it, and as soon as I actually stumbled into it, I actually got lost in the dungeon and was just absolutely entranced with it. Very cool place. I highly suggest you check it out if you haven't already. If you did and maybe you got jumped and you got turned off to it, try it again. Because it is a lot of fun, and you know, if need be, group up with some people if PvP is your thing, and you may get some enjoyment out of it. So anyway, this is where the vendor is. So how do you get Telvar Stones? Well, let me show you here. So basically, what we're gonna do is venture out into the open world. Now, the allure to this is that Telvar Stones, unless you deposit them in your bank, if you happen to die in a PvE encounter, you will lose some of your Telvar Stones. If you happen to get jumped by an opposing faction without depositing your Telvar Stones, you will lose them all. They'll be looted by whoever killed you. So, as you can see here, if you look down in the lower right of my screen, you'll see it has a ×2. So that's down in this area down here. So that is the rate with which I will accumulate Tel Var Stones, which in this current session you'll see right here. So this multiplier will go up. I've only seen it go to ×3. Not sure if it will go higher than that. I imagine it could. But as soon as you deposit your Tel Var Stones in the bank, this multiplier will go back down to 1. So what happens is, as you fight creatures, now for those of you Ebonheart pack, and I imagine the others, if I were to look at your area down here, have a similar I'll call it safe section. It is not safe. So in this area here, there could be opposing factions hiding in this area, ready to jump someone like me who's come out here by himself. But there's I call it a semi-safe area, and you'll be able to get an idea of the scale of this dungeon here. If you haven't been here, again, check it out. I really do think it's pretty cool. So in this area here, you'll notice the banner. If you're not Ebonheart, you'll have a similar area that tells you the direction to go to get back to your safe spot. Now for me, this is a nice little run for me to get used to it, comfortable, and you tend to, I'm sort of playing it safe this little run, because while I could get jumped, they'd have to be pretty deep in, and I imagine not a lot of people would want to jump you right by your zone entrance, because you're probably not going to have a whole lot of Tel Var Stones. So in this area here, here are some PvE targets, and you're going to see what they drop. So you get through here. So now, from what I understand, one of the tactics is to just hang out in this area, or go to the opposing factions area, where they would have people who are farming Tel Var Stones, similar to what I'm doing, and they hang out and then gank them. Now, if you notice the loot container over here to the right, oh, hang on. I was going to say, what happens is every time you're killing mobs now, they're going to drop Tel Var Stones. And the amount of Tel Var Stones you get, if I'm paying attention here, the amount of Tel Var Stones you get is dependent on that multiplier. And as you'll notice here, I had kind of queued this up a bit, but that blue bar, every time I kill something, is going up, right? And it's slowly, and then it's going to change to 3 here shortly. Now for Ebonheart pack, this particular area is kind of, and this is what I want to show you before. So when you come out of the safe area down here to the south, this area here is kind of a dead end. So I would think if somebody was going to jump and gank you, it would be in this area, because that's more open and you can get out into the main dungeon or the main Imperial City down here. This area here is kind of cut off. They'd have to come in here and then shoot down here. So this is a good starting area if you want to get used to it, see how, depending on your level, if you're able to hang with the mobs. They're pretty much standard world, not a whole lot tougher than that. They do have some epic level ones, but the key thing is, throughout this dungeon, they've got quite a few bosses they are soloable. So if you're like me and you tend to solo quite a bit, you come in here, you will have to play it safe, but it does have a certain allure to it, knowing that, while you're in there, you could get jumped. So these portals, will always have a chest in them, as far as I can tell. Again, I haven't done this a ton, but I'm taking you with me. So what you're doing basically is clearing this portal, and then once the portal's done, and every once in a while you run into people, same idea, right? Usually it's a good idea to share the chests if you're with someone, especially you know, just an etiquette thing. So I'll just take off and let them do that. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to head back and go out into the more general area. Okay, just to see, because I want to see if I'll get lucky. There's also, they have wandering bannermen, who are 3-bar bosses, and can cause you problems. So you have to always be on the lookout. See, like, she just left this chest for me. Good etiquette. Alright, I guess not. Maybe this is a portal. I've never seen this before. This is kind of cool. Yeah, or you could be a dick. Okay. Alright, well, let's see if we can just get this up to 3 bars here, and then what I'll show you just how you turn these in. So I think this one's gonna be it. Alright, so some of the things you'll get while you're out here are these stones, which I'm not going to use here. I'll show you in just a second. Let me just get to a safer spot. So when you're in that area there, sometimes you'll see, and he's very obvious, you'll see a 3-bar boss will be walking by very deliberately. He's got a big arc of visibility, and those are pretty nasty. But basically, if you avoid them, make your way out into the deeper into the dungeon, you are going to find that there are 2-bar bosses. So if you're high enough level, you can solo those. And you'll gain plenty of Tel Var Stones. As you can see there, it was about probably 7-8 minutes. We got 300, and we even had the dickhead take the chest. So don't be like him. You know, the proper way to do it is, especially even if you're not grouped, you know, alternate. But whatever, if you find all kinds out here. So anyway, when you're in the bank, basically all you do is go to deposit currency, you scroll down, and then select your Telvar Stones. Once you deposit those, this counter will go back to 1. Your Telvar Stones will be down to 0, but you'll no longer lose them should you go out in the world and get jumped and killed by someone. Alright, so thanks for watching this video, and if you have any suggestions or ideas for videos, feel free to let me know, even if you just want to see how I might do something compared to the way you do it. Mainly crafting, but I'm branching out here, and think I'll be heading towards the Clockwork City here shortly. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope this helps somebody somewhere, and we'll see you next time.